are working on a Diamondback Terrapin pond.
So Noah is responsible for taking care of all these incredible animals.
Here's a Diamondback Terrapin. This is the type of turtle that we're going to be building the setup for. We're at the point where we've got too many turtles. Can't have too many turtles.
So that's going to fill that void space up, it's going to overflow, and it's going to reconnect with the aqua blocks underneath.
Hey, what's up everybody? Ed the Pond Professor here. I am coming to you from Aqualand, our corporate headquarters, right smack in the middle of our retail location. This retail facility is an awesome place that showcases all the unique animals and water features that we create for people around the world. I am also getting ready to head to Garden State Tortoise over on the coast of New Jersey, and Noah is going to be joining me on this incredible excursion. So I want to go introduce you all to Noah so we can get our game plan and start discussing this unbelievable project that's going to be happening literally tomorrow. So Noah is responsible for taking care of all these incredible animals. You're an animal fanatic, animal lover.
Oh yeah.
Tell us what you do here on a daily basis, but also what you're looking forward to getting out of meeting up with the Garden State Tortoise team.
Yeah, so my job as a retail associate is just, selling product, but also maintaining like all the displays and all the animal setups that we have around the building that makes it like a really fun place for customers, to come to bring their kids. So we have Greg's Turtletopia, which is actually filled with a lot of the turtles that we've gotten from people who couldn't take care of them anymore, turtles that have outgrown their setups. And what I have here is a Diamondback Terrapin. This is the type of turtle that we're going to be building the setup for, or one of the three setups for Chris in New Jersey. Because what actually happens with these turtles is they come in from the coast, the wetlands off the coast of New Jersey, and they'll lay their eggs in the gravel roads. What happens is at night or in the mornings, the trucks will come in, or just general cars, and they won't see the turtles down in the potholes that lay their eggs, and the turtles will get crushed, the eggs will get crushed. So one of the things that Chris does as a herpetologist for the DNR, he goes and he'll collect the eggs, collect the turtles, he'll hatch them, and then they'll re-release them. This turtle can do brackish water, fresh water, salt water. So we've got it in a freshwater setup. Over in New Jersey, they're coming in from the ocean and then laying their eggs on land and going back out.
Awesome,
yeah.
Awesome. So you have not talked to Chris yet, or have you talked to him before the trip here, or no?
Yeah, I got in touch with him a little bit. We've talked about potentially doing a turtle rescue, or just really learning about like how we can help out those customers that say, oh, I need to rehome my turtle, because it happens so often where people try to bring us turtles, or they find an injured turtle and they bring it to us. We're at the point where we've got too many turtles. I'll say it, you can't have too many turtles. So what we got out of that, we were learning, what do we have to do with the permitting? Are we allowed to accept these turtles?
Yeah.
How do we rehome them if we decide to take them? But yeah, as of right now, we're not accepting turtles. Chris was helpful in helping us figure out what can we tell customers who are in that situation.
Gotcha. Well, you're saying you have too many turtles here, but according to the pond guy, I don't think we could ever
More
reach
turtles
that
means
threshold.
more ponds.
Exactly. More turtles, more ponds, and it's also how Greg got his start. So he is an animal fanatic, and especially he loves these guys right here. So you're heading out a day ahead of me, so I will catch up with you in about 2 days from now, and I'm looking forward to this project.
All right, me
Awesome.
too.
See you in New Jersey.
Coming to you from my office at our home of Aqualand, St. Charles, Illinois, getting ready to do some design work.
This is a very impromptu and interruption to your video. Brian Helfrich and myself are excited to announce the Aquascape Hands-On Academy. And this is the hands-on area right here. This was originally created for the Sandbox Studio for the Aquascape Artists of the Year, but it's going to be turned into a training academy for all people that want to be contractors to come and learn with our crew.
You're going to see Chris, our crew, and how they build a one-day pond, and we're going to show you how to do it in 4 hours.
We're going to have bleachers over here. People are going to be able to get inside, get their hands dirty. Besides the 11x16 or 8x11, whatever we decide to do for the one-day pond, we're also going to put in fountainscapes and a pondless waterfall. Come to the Aquascape Hands-On Training Academy this winter and work with us in a sandbox, actually getting your hands dirty and learning how to have a career with water features.
Don't you want to tell them about the other day? It's 2 days!
The classroom day. One day is going to be hands-on in the sandbox. The other day is going to be how to actually run a water feature business. Everything you need to know, 30 years of experience, 26 years at the helm, building water features, designing water features, selling water features, marketing water features, promoting water features, everything to do with running a water feature business.
You said a lot in a short amount of time.
We're going to have a lot in 2 days. Register, check out the link below. And now, back to the vlog.
Talking with Tom Smith with Garden State Koi. He's working on a really cool project with Garden State Tortoise. They have a really cool, unique opportunity. They are working on a Diamondback Terrapin pond found in those coastal areas, the coastal plains all along the eastern shoreline. They can live in that brackish water, so this is a saline environment. It's not as salty as the ocean, but it's saltier than the freshwater system, so it's kind of that transitionary area. One of the unique things about it is it has a fluctuating water level. Because it's located in that tidal zone, the water is going to increase when high tide, and then it's going to kind of get drawn back out. When that happens, it exposes that kind of shoreline. You're going to have a lot of crustaceans and mollusks and things like that that are going to be right at that low water level. That's going to allow these guys to come in and forage and root around and kind of access that entire environment. What Tom is talking about doing with them is actually creating a pond that actually will have a fluctuating water level. He's assembled an incredible team. I'm just going to be a support person on this project, but let me discuss a little bit what we're going to be doing here, just so you can kind of understand it and follow along, because once we get on the job site, it might be difficult to visualize exactly what's happening out there. So here's what we have. I want to start off down here at the bottom. So the reason I'm starting out there, because that's the reservoir. So this Aquablock system, you've seen us use these things 1,000 times. We use them in a lot of different situations, super versatile. But what they are doing is they're creating a structural void space underground. They don't actually hold the water in place. The rubber liner, so there's actually a rubber liner going around this entire thing along with our fabric and all that stuff. That's actually holding the water in place. The Aquablocks are creating a structural void space inside of it. They also act as part of the filtration system. What Tom has calculated is using 50 of these large Aquablocks. Each one of them holds approximately 32 gallons of water. It has a void space of 32 gallons of water. That gives us a total volume of 1,600 gallons inside of those Aquablocks. So this Aquablock system is basically acting like the ocean. In a tidal situation, you have this huge reservoir of water out in mid-water, out in the ocean area, and then during the tidal fluctuations, you get this wave of water that comes in and it raises up the water level along these coastal areas, and then it's going to draw it back down. So this gentle action, this flushing action, is actually going to bring in nutrients, it's going to bring in oxygen, and then it's going to suck out any of those sediments and things like that, and it's going to draw them out to those deeper water areas. So this is part of the filtration system actually for the ocean system. What we're trying to do is mimic that. So the Aquablocks are going to act as our ocean. That's going to be that main volume of water. We're going to have 2 pumps inside of this system. One pump is going to be approximately 2,000 gallons per hour. That pump is going to feed the wetland filtration system. The wetland filter is going to be responsible for the detoxification of all the water in the ecosystem. So this is going to give us that desired water quality for the Diamondback Terrapins. So we're going to have a pump down inside of here. It's going to pump some of that water all the way up here to the top, going to our wetland filter. Now at 2,000 gallons per hour, it's not a huge flow. So what we're doing is we're going to put in a pipe system, and that's kind of what this thing is right over here. So this in that picture is showing a 3-inch pipe. We're going to have 2,000 gallons per hour of water flowing into the wetland. That 3-inch pipe should be able to handle all of that volume of water by gravity flow. We're going to put a little bit of a screen over here on that pipe, so none of the baby turtles, no debris or anything like that is going to get stuck inside of that piping system, just with the one pump running. So that 2000 GPH pump is going to have a flow of water going through that pipe system, and it's going to go all the way back down into the aqua blocks. So these things are going to be filled all the way to the top, all the way up here, and then when we turn that pump on, it's going to draw the water down and it's going to kind of stabilize. So when that big pump turns on, it's going to send more water. So we're going to have another pump over here and it's going to send more water all the way up into our pond system. What's going to happen is that 3-inch pipe is not going to be able to handle the combined flow of the 2000 GPH pump and the 5000 to 9000. But if we had two of them running full blast, we're going to have 11,000 gallons per hour of water flow. There's no way that this 3-inch pipe is going to be able to handle all of that. So what's going to happen is the water level is going to start to increase. So it's going to go from here all the way up to the top, and then we're going to create a waterfall system at a higher elevation. Now, in order to do that, we're going to have to do a really good job of foaming the waterfall in place. We're going to expand it in between all the joints of all the rock. We're going to cover up the gravel bed. So you can see this black line, that is a piece of our geotextile fabric, but underneath that I'm going to use a bed of that expanding foam. It's going to cover up all the river rock. So this entire waterfall, all of this stuff that I have kind of marked out under here, this is all river stone. But that river rock is very porous. It's going to allow water just to disappear through it. So the waterfall foam is going to seal it. It's going to create a waterproof barrier on top of it. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of our geotextile fabric and I'm going to embed it into that actual foam system. It's going to increase the load bearing capacity. It's going to allow me to work on it very quickly, but it also makes it much stronger. Adding this fabric to the foam is like adding rebar to concrete. Really increases the load bearing capacity of it, makes it hold together really strong. Now on top of that fabric, I'm going to cover it up with river rock. But what that will do is that expanding foam wants to take the path of least resistance. It doesn't really want to go down because it's easier for it to go up. By putting the fabric on top of it when it's still wet and then putting more river rock on top of it, it forces foam to go deeper down into the gravel and it really locks everything up. So this is just one of those little tips and tricks that we utilize on a regular basis. And the reason I'm talking about it here is we have to make sure all these little nooks and crannies and void spaces are accounted for and sealed properly. Otherwise, when we turn that big pump on, we're going to lose some of that capacity and the water level over here is not going to raise up to the desired height. So what we need to do is foam all that stuff in place. We have to lock it all up, so when we turn that big waterfall pump on, it's going to fill the rest of that to create that tidal action. And then we're going to have another waterfall effect actually occurring during the high tide. So normally, normal operation, there's no waterfall. You're just going to have this little low, shallow moving pond system that's working. Turn the big pump on, that water level raises by approximately 8 inches. One of the important things with this that we also had to calculate was what we call water in transit or water in motion. That's this 8 inches of water here. So this big fluctuation is critical to calculate because that's telling us how many of these aqua blocks that we had to put in. We're going to have 600 gallons of water in transit. So when we turn that big pump on, 600 gallons of water is going to be pulled from that aqua block area. So this water level is going to drop down, and we're going to take that water from the aqua blocks and we're pushing it into that tidal area. So that's going to fill that void space up, it's going to overflow, and it's going to reconnect with the aqua blocks underneath. Now when that pump goes off, the water level is slowly going to drop back down. It might take, I don't even know, 30 minutes, an hour? I have no idea. I guess these are things that we're going to have to figure out once we get on site. But the water's slowly going to drop back down to the normal water level. So the aqua blocks are important because that water level is going to go up and down just like the ocean does. It's going to be that tidal cycle. So we have a lot of different things that we're going to be thinking about here. This is going to be a great project for Noah to be involved in. Love working with Tom over at Garden State Koi, Jack, Alan, all the CACs out in that area. This is going to be one really cool project at Garden State Tortoise. Stay tuned.